Hello and welcome. In this session, we are going to learn step by step what is Grafana and how do we create Grafana dashboard, and then how can we show our Gatling results on a Grafana dashboard. This is going to be very easy and very interesting, and I will go step by step. We will learn what is Grafana, how do we set up Grafana, we will learn how do we install and set up Grafana plugin, the Gatling Grafana plugin, and then finally how do we create the Gatling data source on Grafana, and then how do we create and view dashboards on Grafana. All the notes will be in the description, so you can always check the notes. And Grafana is an open source platform or an application for data visualization and monitoring. So basically we give some data to Grafana, and this data can come from a database or any application like JMeter, Gatling, etc. And Grafana can convert this data into some intuitive metrics, graphs, pie charts, etc., and can show us real-time data. So when our test is running, it can get real-time data and show us the reports there and all the intuitive charts and graphs. So all that we can see, we can visualize our data, we can monitor, we can see reports, everything on Grafana. So there are two ways to download Grafana and set up Grafana. One is with the Windows installer. Now I am doing this on Windows system, but you can follow similar steps on Mac operating system as well, and I will show you the website of Grafana from where you can check all these steps and get the installer as well. So on Windows we have Windows installer and Windows binary. So I will show you both the steps. Let me also go to the website. I will just say Grafana download, and here is the website Grafana download, and you can see here we have all these releases here, and I will go here and you can see this is the website from where you can download Grafana, and these are all the operating systems. So Linux, Windows, Mac, Docker, ARM, everything is here. So first this is the version, and I'm going to select the latest stable version, which is 8.4.5 as of the time of recording this video. Then we have edition. So we have enterprise and open source edition. Now it says that the enterprise edition is the default and recommended edition, and it includes all the features of the open source edition as well. So you can use the enterprise edition and it will have all the features of open source, and the enterprise features will be locked, but if you want you can just we can just use the open source for now, and that's it. And then we can select the operating system. So if I select Windows, you can see there are two options for me: Windows installer and the standalone binary. So this will be a zip file that you can get and then unzip, and this will be an installer which will install Grafana on the system by running the installer. Also, these are the installation guides. So if you check this, if you open this, it also shows us all the steps to install Grafana. So you can see this is the recommended option, install with the Windows installer. But if you are using the standalone Windows binary, then you will have to unzip and use this grafana-server.exe to start Grafana on the system. Let me show you the Windows installer. So I will download the Windows installer. So here I will just click on download the installer, and it is getting downloaded, and then I will run the installer, and then after installation I can go to the browser and go to the address localhost, that is my localhost of my system, and 3000 port. So this is the default port for Grafana, but we can change this. I'll just show you. Let me first run the installer. So this is my installer. I will run this, and I will just minimize all these windows so you can see it very clearly. I will click on next, and this is the license. You can read and then accept the license agreement, and then click on next. And here, so this is the default location. It will go to C program files Grafana labs. If you want, you can change this. I'll just keep it as it is and say next, and then click on install. So this will install and also start Grafana service on our system. So once this is installed, you will also find a folder created in your C program files. So let me also show you that. If I go to my C drive and go to program files, You can see this Grafana labs folder is getting created here, and we have a Grafana folder here. Installation is done. I can click on finish, and now if I go to my browser and go to localhost 3000, you can see we have got this Grafana login screen. So Grafana is up and running, and you can also check this on your services. If you are on Windows, you can go to services, and here if we just search for Grafana, you can see Grafana is up and running here. It is in running status. So just in case if you want to stop or restart, we can always go from here and say stop, pause, restart, everything from these services. So this is done, and Grafana is up and running here, and for the first time the default username and password is admin. So say admin and click on login, and then it will ask you to create a new password. So I will just create a new password, and then I will click submit, and yes, now I have got my Grafana homepage here. So these are the steps to set up Grafana with the Windows installer. If you're using binary, you just have to get the zip file and then extract this zip file anywhere on your system, and then on the command line you can go and run this file grafana-server.exe. All these steps are also mentioned here, just in case you want to refer this guide. This can also help you. So we have got Grafana up and running, and just in case if you want to change the port, you can go to a different port. You will go to the conf directory of Grafana and copy the sample.ini file to custom.ini file, and then edit the custom.ini file. So if you go here, if I go to this Grafana folder, there is a conf folder, and you can see sample.ini file. So just copy and paste this as a new file, and the new file you can name it as custom.ini, and then in that file you will find this HTTP port configuration option, and this you can change to a different port in case you want to. So this is how you can change the port if you want to. And now let us go to the next section, that is our Gatling Grafana data source setup. So for this we first have to download the Gatling Grafana plugin. So here if I go to my Gatling frontline, so in the last session we learned how do we use the Gatling frontline, and we created a cloud account. So I'm just going to log into that account. So this is, I have gone to cloud.gatling.io, and now I'm going to log in here. And here if I go to plugins, you can see we have a Grafana data source here. I can download Grafana data source from here, and it will download a zipped folder. You can see it has downloaded this one, and if I extract this or unzip it, I will say extract all, and I'll just extract it within the downloads folder. And yes, you can see I have got these dashboard samples and all these folders and files here in my Grafana folder, frontline Grafana folder. So I can get from there. So I can go to the Gatling frontline and then go to plugins, or the other way is this is a link from where I can directly get it. So this is also a link which is on the Gatling website. Let me also show you. I will go to, I'll just go to gatling.io. I will say frontline Grafana bundle. So I will also show you the website just in case you want to refer that. So here yeah, this is where I will go. Or if you go to the tutorials, so I have shown you in the last session as well. If you go to docs, gatling.io docs, we have 3 sections. This is Gatling open source, this is Gatling enterprise or Gatling frontline self-hosted, that is on-premise, and these are the documents for Gatling enterprise cloud or Gatling frontline cloud. Now here if I go to plugins, you can see there is a option for, we have Jenkins, TeamCity, and then here is Grafana data source, and you can also follow it from here. So this is the link from where you can download the Gatling Grafana bundle folder, which I have just done from this Gatling frontline plugins section. So this also can be downloaded from here, and then to install it you will have to run the Grafana CLI and then copy the link from here and then say install frontline. So this is what we will be doing now. That is step number 2, install Gatling Grafana data source plugin or on Grafana server, and for that we have to open the command line and go to the Grafana folder. So I have to open command line on the Grafana folder where I will have, so in my program files Grafana labs Grafana, I have this bin folder where I have this grafana.cli.exe. So I have to open this on my command prompt. I can directly say cmd here and hit enter. So this directly opens the command line on the same folder, and then I will be running the command. I will be running this command Grafana CLI plugin URL and the URL of the Grafana data source bundle and plugins install frontline. Let me just very quickly copy this from here. So it is, I do not make any mistakes. I'm just copying this in a notepad, and this I will have to change with the URL, which is this one. So I'll just copy the URL and update this here. So this is my complete command, and I will say, I'll just copy until here. I will go to my command line and first I will say Grafana -cli, and then I'll just copy and paste the rest of the command, and you can see it says please restart Grafana after installing plugins. And for that, if you have installed as a Windows service, I can go to the services here and we have Grafana. I will say restart, and this will restart the Grafana server. So this is restarted, and now we should have the plugin installed on our Grafana. Now next step is we have to add the plugin to the list of allowed unsigned plugins. So for this we have to open the defaults.ini file, and there we have to add this line. So again I will go to the Grafana folder. So if I go to Grafana and if I go to conf, we have this defaults.ini file. You can open it in any of the text editors, and here we have to go to this line allow loading unsigned. So let me just search for unsigned here, and yes, so you can see here is the option allow loading unsigned plugins. Here we have to mention frontline so that we are able to use it, and that's it. I have copied and saved, so this should be fine now. And now let me also, I'll just restart again so that it takes all the changes. So this will get restarted. Now we have to add the data source in Grafana, and then finally we will be creating the Grafana dashboards. So for adding the data source, I will go to the Grafana homepage or Grafana server. So I am already here on localhost 3000 and I am here on Grafana. Now I will go to the configuration data sources and then add data source Gatling Enterprise. So I will go to configurations here and then data sources, and I will say add data source, and here I will say Gatling Enterprise, and this option you will only get after you have done the earlier step where we have added the Gatling data source in Grafana. I will select this, and then I have to give a URL. So the URL I will give is of my Gatling cloud, so which is cloud.gatling.io. This is what I will give here, and then I will have to add the token as well, and this I can take from the Gatling Frontline or Gatling Enterprise application. So I will go to my Gatling Frontline, and here we have the option for API tokens. You can take any earlier token, or I'll just go and create a new token. So I can give name token for Grafana, and organization role I'll just say can read all data. I just need the read permissions here, and I will select the team and team role and then say save, and I will copy this token here. So this is my token, and now I will have to add it in my Grafana. So I will go here, I will go down, scroll down, and we have this option Grafana Enterprise Authorization, and I will give the token value here. Now here one more thing is, the name that I have given is Gatling Enterprise, or it has already taken this name. If you want, you can change this name, but then you will also have to change this later in the JSON files of the Grafana dashboard that I will show you later. But if you want all that, that you do not want to change anything in the dashboard files or the JSON files that we will import in the next section, then you can just keep the name as it is, that is Gatling Enterprise. And that's it. I will say save and test. So you can see it says okay, data source connected. That means everything is running fine and we are able to connect to our data source. So this is all running fine. Now we have to create Grafana dashboards. Now we can always create the Grafana dashboards manually and then add the panels, but here we have an option that we can directly import it from the Gatling Grafana bundle folder. So you remember we downloaded this Gatling Grafana bundle folder. So if I go back to my downloads folder, this is the folder we downloaded, and here we have dashboard samples, and here we have the JSON files for dashboards that I can directly import. And the reason I told you to keep the name of the database as Gatling Enterprise was because if I just open this in any of the editors, you can see here, you will see that the name is Gatling Enterprise data source. So if you give any other name in Grafana while creating the data source, you should also change it here. But because we have not changed it, so I can directly go with these files, and I will go to import on Grafana. So I will go here on the plus button and say import, and I will say upload JSON file, and now I will go to my downloads folder, frontline Grafana dashboard samples, and I can import all these files. So let's say I will say frontline requests.json, and I will say open, and if you want to change names and anything else, you can do that. I will just click on import, and you can see here we have got all this, and all these panels and dashboards are created for us. I do not have to make any changes. I can again say plus and say import, and I will import some more dashboards. Let us say groups, I will say, or let us say injectors or users. I will say open and import. So you can see here we have got some data here, and I can always go to my simulations and I can run the simulation so that I can get some more data. And on the dashboard, on this Gatling Grafana dashboard, you will see there are some options here. So you can see here refresh dashboard. You can also set the refresh time. Let us say I want to refresh every 5 seconds. Then you can see save dashboard. You can add more panels. You can go to the settings. So if I go to the settings, you can see here these are the general settings where we have the name, tags, and all these options. And then we have annotations, we have variables. So you can see all these variables are being used here. And if I go to this link, you can see all these details here as well. So this is all what we have done, and you can see all these variables and all the metrics here. So these are all the variables. So we can always change it from here, and these are our dashboards. I'll just go here and let us say I'll go back to my Gatling requests, and you can see now we are getting the data here. So number of requests, max response time, min response time, and all these metrics are here. You can always see different views, and you can change it from here. So you can see all these options here. So this is the simulation Gatling performance test 1, and as of now we have a single simulation. If you have more simulations, you will get all more details here. So as of now it is running, and we are getting all the results updated here. So you can see scenario name and run number. So you can see I want to check run number 1 or 4. All this we can do from here. All these are the requests. So if I want to see some particular request details, I can also go from there. Or if I want to see all the requests, I can just select star here, and then if I want to see all the pass fails, all that I can see from here as well. And as I told you, these are the settings where we can see the variables and metrics. Now just in case you want to add more metrics here, you can always go to the Gatling cloud or the Gatling frontline, and here if I go to the documentation, we have Swagger API, and here you can see this is the Swagger API page. I will first say authorize, and I can give the API key. So this is the token. Now this token is only for read, so it will not be able to run any post request or any create requests. I'm just adding and authorizing this, and let's say I want to see more metrics. So let me search for an API for metrics. So you can see list metrics available. I'll go here. This is a get API, and it does not have any parameters. So I'll just say try it out, and I'll say execute. And here you can see we are getting in the response body all these metrics that we can add to our dashboard. Okay. So we can do this. You can get more metrics, and you can always add it to our variables here. And I'll just go back to the dashboard, and this is how it is running, and we can see all the data here. So we have already got the dashboard samples from the Grafana bundle, and we have imported, and we have checked the dashboard settings, variables, and we have also seen how we can get more metrics from the Gatling public API. So we are able to see our data results and real-time data on Grafana dashboards, and we can see all the metrics and everything there. And you can explore more options. You will see a lot of things here. You can add more panels here. You can see different visualizations. You can do filtration. Everything will be available here. So there is a lot of things you can do here. So this is how you can see all your Gatling data on a Grafana dashboard. I hope this was very useful for you. Please do some hands-on, and if you face any issues, you can let me know. I will try to help you as soon as I can. I will see you in the next session. Thank you for watching, and never stop learning.